Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
All right. We're live.
Hello, everybody.
We made it, Garrett.
All right, guys. We're live. We're limited again on who knows what.
On
so we'll
X,
see
yeah.
how many we got today.
They keep limiting our count.
All the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I was hoping that it would be over with, but things are changing, though. For real this time. Trump is just kind of knocking it out of the park with his cabinet picks. And a lot of them, their main mission is to kill DEI and censorship and stuff is what
Thank
they
God.
say.
Dude, I saw the military guy that he's appointing made
Pete
up.
Hagestad, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
Man, the guy went to Harvard and he's been deployed a couple times, and they're trying to act like Trump is just using a Fox News host for this important position.
Oh yeah, they act like
the
he
guy
was
happened
just
to
a
work
Fox
there.
News guy.
Yeah. Come on.
But the thing I saw, it was an Air Force cadet application, and it said like, for his parents, it called them his birthing parent and his non-birthing parent, or instead of mother and father.
Jesus.
How fucking insane is that? And anyway, that Hagestad guy said, not for long, we're going to change that. It's
Good.
No kidding.
And, we talked about this before, but they've talked Senate hearings and stuff with General Miley, and they're asking, you guys are funding, trans shows basically on bases with our tax money. What the hell? And they're acting like, well, we don't know about that. And they talked about how the reading list has the White Rage or whatever that book is too. That's supposed to be about having guilt for your skin color and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a long time coming.
All this shit needs to be rooted out and gotten rid of. And I think it's
the last show we talked about how the message for the Democrat Party should be. It should be to get rid of all those woke stuff. People don't want it. And there's a giant pushback in the media right now going, not once did Kamala talk about pronouns. Not once did anyone talk about this. Well, it's the whole point is that they don't want to. They don't have to now because it's embedded in the
that's their whole
everywhere.
platform. Yeah, their whole...
So just because they're not running on that now, the last 4 years has shown us what their priority is. And it's very, very much a part of their priorry.
Yeah. Their whole thing is identity politics. It's the entire left.
And that's how you kind of talked about how it's the whole birthing parent stuff. They don't have to run on that because it's already there. The FCC, the number 2 goal, I said this in the email, but the number 2 goal and where a lot of their money was going to was going to be promoting DEI, or the FCC.
Yeah.
So the new FCC chair, he's knocking out of the park too. He basically says that is going to be 0%, and he's going to root it out there too, along with censorship. So Trump really is this time around just destroying a lot of these picks, and it makes me think that he's for real. Yeah.
Hey, while we're on the subject and we're just letting people trickle in here, have you seen this where William Shatner goes on Bill Maher?
Oh God.
It's very recent.
I haven't.
Just watch this. It's like 20 seconds, and it applies to what we said here.
But basically, people.
Watch this.
She was not a great candidate. Let's be honest. When they asked,
why isn't she a great candidate? She combined several trends of thought here: black, woman.
That's not.
And he trails off. That's all he had.
Does he say there like that's not a
Yeah,
He's acting like
I'll let Bill.
He gets it a little bit.
Yeah, but how funny for him to say that, for Shatner to say. But yeah, Bill answers.
Bill's being a little bit of changing history here too, because he guaranteed everyone that she was going to beat Trump.
I know.
She was so much better. He said over and over, "I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah, Trump's not going to win." Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of he's changing history here by saying she's not a good candidate because he was in love with her. A week ago.
Yeah, but he does answer Bill's great endorsement of her here. Watch this.
That's not a candidate. Those are, that's identity politics. That's one of the Democrats.
Those are elements.
Yeah, but that's all he had.
Those are elements.
He says,
that's the last thing anyone should ever care about when it comes to a candidate is their skin color."
I just love that he lists why she's a good candidate. He says she's black, she's a woman. He had nothing else to say. He couldn't go anywhere. God, that's funny. But yeah, they're completely obsessed with identity politics. It's ridiculous, dude.
Since I sent you a few clips kind of talking about, so we kind of jumped ahead. And maybe we don't jump ahead to it, but about Trump's cabinet picks.
Okay.
If we want to just get into it since we're here.
Yeah, why not? Oh, speaking of that, just to cut you off real quick, Matt Gaetz, I saw on Polymarket, he's at like 20% to get confirmed. So
yeah, it's going to be
not looking good. Okay. I just assumed he would be.
Mitch McConnell came out and basically said that because there's you have to be confirmed. There's 53 Republicans right now in the Senate, and it's the Senate that does the confirmation. By the way, they're trying to steal the seat in Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which is 5 liberals and 2 Republicans, ruled beforehand that these certain votes can't be counted. They're counting them anyway, knowing they're going against the Supreme Court. They're basically just like, well, a lot of people break the law, so we're still counting. And the media is being like real whimsical about it, being like, well, it's still counting, but with a twist. So the Supreme Court ruled today, again, saying, absolutely, quit counting. We told you can't do that, and we're reaffirming that ruling. And so Josh Shapiro, the governor, came out finally and said, we're going to quit counting. And kind of in the past,
thank God.
He was more for this. But they're trying to steal it. And the media, of course, is fine with it because they're stealing for a Democrat. It's different when it's a Democrat, when they think it's a Democrat doing it.
Now that's in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, and everyone's watching it. Yes.
Dude, same thing. Same thing happening in Chicago. Like they're still counting votes, and it's like, I actually have a video, but a guy says like of the last 25,000 votes, 22,000 of them were for the Democrat.
Well, this goes beyond that. These are absolutely illegal votes to count. They said beforehand we can't count these if the date's wrong, if the envelope's missing. There's very specific stuff they said beforehand. They will not count it if it's not right. And there's also like, if you're overseas, you could cast a ballot that's a provisional one that doesn't really count. And they were trying to use those too against the state Supreme Court's orders. They were doing it anyway, just because of the Democrat leading the committee, trying to get a Democrat elected. So there's not any like, hey, this is improbable or this is impossible. It is not, it's black and white. These are illegal to count.
And
Stop
they're counting
them
anyway.
But the Democrats running it said, we know they're illegal, but we're going to count them anyway. Basically.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
I hope they get criminal charges against them for that kind of thing.
They definitely should. That's the only way that we could really show fair elections, that they would actually prosecute them, really.
Yeah, no kidding. Because they never face any consequences, so they just keep doing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
What do we want to get into here to start?
We're kind of on those. Do you have the email I sent with all the links for that?
Let me see.
Play this. So this one here,
Okay.
This is 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes, Trump's suing them, by the way, for a lot of money because of they were crying that Trump didn't give him an interview after when they gave him the interview 4 years ago. They basically attacked him and then just gave Biden a bunch of softball questions. Well, this year he didn't do the interview and they're attacking him for it. And then we all know Kamala went and did it and they changed her answers for her.
Right.
Here's how they reported today on his cabinet picks, basically. Play this.
Okay.
The nominees are Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth to lead the 3 million people of the Department of Defense. He's a combat veteran, most recently a morning show host on Fox News with no government experience.
At least
good.
they included
we
combat
don't want
veteran.
Experience.
Yeah,
They're trying
no
to
shit.
clean up the government, and they act like Trump's not picking from the swamp. God damn it.
Dude,
of course, that's the whole point.
I'm a
He
fan
was
of this guy.
elected with a giant mandate to get rid of the swamp.
Yeah, I want outsiders.
Absolutely.
And this guy's, I've only seen a few clips of him. I've never heard of him before a week ago. But another thing he was saying that I watched was he was saying no more women in combat roles in the military. He said women can still be in the military and they can be in support roles, but in actual combat, he doesn't want them in there. And that just seems like common sense to me, man. I've thought that's ridiculous for a long time.
Adam Stove.
Adam and
Marco
Stove.
Rubio's part of the swamp. No, I think so. I think I hate that pick.
Oh, really?
No,
See, I don't know
no,
much about him.
I was excited for the red waves. We could start beating up more on the Republicans again, like we used to do, because they're not libertarian enough. I hate the Rubio pick. You remember Trump used to call him Little Marco Rubio and talked about how he was kind of part of the swamp. But everyone's acting like, wow, he's changed. He's now a loyalist of Trump. One of the big themes of his picks seem to be that they're loyalists. So it is a little weird to me that Marco Rubio is in there.
I don't know much about
But I hate
Marco
it.
Rubio.
I don't like Rubio being in there.
Okay. He's going to be Secretary of State?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Important.
He's pretty pro-Israel and stuff too. And it's just like,
that's probably how he got the job then.
He's Matt Gaetz is one of the only House members to not take money from AIPAC.
Yep.
And him and I think like it is Thomas Massey. Like they might legit be like one of the only two. So that's a little bit crazy that he picked Gaetz because of that to me. Because a lot of his picks do seem to be like, yeah, this guy's pretty friendly to Israel. And the big thing with that is you're afraid they're going to be just kind of war hawks like so many of them seem to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't like this pick. Also, Trump went and talked at the Libertarian Convention. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And one of the things he guaranteed was one that Ross Ulbricht or whatever, the Silver guy, would be pardoned on day one. Libertarians love that. The second one, he was going to pick a actual libertarian, not like a libertarian leaning guy, not a Republican that is for freedom. He was going to pick an actual libertarian for a cabinet member.
Get the toaster guy.
So he has not done that yet. I'll be really disappointed if he doesn't follow through with that, because that's an easy one. You're going to find so many good qualities in some libertarians and just find one of them that fits one cabinet.
Put Ron Paul in there. That'd be libertarian enough for me.
The Doge guys, yep.
Yeah. All right, should we keep this going?
Yep.
Experience. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz for
Dude, one thing about Gaetz, just to pause it, like whatever he did to his eyebrows was a mistake.
Does he have work done, you think?
I think he did. He had some kind of, I don't know if it's legit plastic surgery or just like severe sculpting of the eyebrows, but he looks weird.
There was reports from CNN that the CNN reporters were legit crying tears when they were in Matt Gaetz' position.
Yeah, that made me like him more. There must be something good about him.
Great clips. We should have brought some up. You remember he's talking about how the only women you see at the the pro-abortion rallies are so ugly nobody want to
fat and ugly.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually watched that clip not very long ago because the reporter she asked him like, "Are you implying that these women are fat and ugly?" He says, "Yeah." She goes, "What do you think about people who are offended by that?" He says, "Be offended."
Hey, yeah.
We should almost just play it.
You know that clip of him going after Merrick Garland too, about Merrick Garland being so shady, basically. And it's kind of funny because he's basically taking Merrick Garland's job now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if he gets appointed.
Here's the thing. Trump basically said he's just going to do it. He's going to do you could do like a, what do they call it? If there's a vacancy, you could put someone in for like 180 days and then you could extend it for another 180 days. So he basically says, whoever you guys don't confirm, we're just going to do a Vegas.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess if that's part of the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, send it to the Supreme Court. If it's against the Constitution, fine, axe it. But send it to the Supreme Court then.
Yeah, there you go.
General in charge of law enforcement. Gates has been investigated by Republicans for alleged drug use and sex with a minor. Gates denies those allegations.
Not only does he deny them, he basically found no merit. So no charges were pressed or anything. There's a 17-year-old girl that came out who was huge, kind of like all these. They're all real big Democrats that hang out with the giant liberals and stuff. She came out and said, I slept with him. He said no. Law enforcement looked into it and said there's nothing there, and they moved on, basically.
Yeah, I saw the FBI investigate it and cleared it, I guess.
Yeah. The House was going to do basically a what do you call it, where they go and the House investigation on it. Well, since he got the cabinet seat, he relinquished his seat, so now that basically goes away for the most part.
Okay. Oh, they can't because he's not part of the House.
He's not part of the House anymore.
I'm a fan of this pick, Tulsi Gabbard.
Are you?
Yeah, man. I love that she was being harassed by the and now she's going to be in charge of it. I mean, I don't know a lot about her. I know she's a Democrat. I don't like that, but she seems a little bit like an outsider to the intelligence community.
I do like that part.
But what do you not like about it?
Oh, I do not like that she was a former Democrat, and I just don't like anyone that's a war hawk at all. And she just kind of strikes me as a little bit of war, and I might be wrong on that. I hope I'm wrong on that.
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. She sought a pardon for Edward Snowden, who leaked.
Dude, how about that?
They should bring in Edward Snowden to be her assistant.
There you go.
How great would that be?
Dude, I'm a huge fan of pardoning Snowden. I think it's it's an absolute black mark on America.
It's a shame on Trump that he didn't do it the first time around.
Yep, absolutely it is. That's something he definitely should have done, and they should do this time.
Yep. U.S. secrets and now lives in Russia. And Robert Kennedy Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services, a skeptic of vaccinations. It's
boy, they really framed this.
I know. Here's the picks, and here's everything that's wrong with them.
Yeah, here's what we don't like about them.
Yeah. They could have picked anybody, and they would have said, "Oh, to the Trump loyalist," or he did this. Not a bad thing. He's a vaccine skeptic. He's not going to outlaw him.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, he's not going to outlaw him, of course.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice that someone not gives the rubber stamp all the time.
Well, that was interesting. Rundown of his picks. I think we should show the UFC walk-in right after that.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So Trump and the crew. Oh, we got some comments.
Yeah, so we need a skeptic. I agree. Yep.
Adam and Stove, we need a skeptic to do that job. Exactly. No rubber stamp.
The biggest thing is just because there are vaccines that are good, of course, but there's medicines that are good too. So it's a weird phrase when people say vaccines are safe and effective. Vaccine is a very broad term, just like medicine is. You can't say medicine is safe and effective because we know a lot of medicines weren't safe and aren't safe, and they aren't effective. So just because something is a vaccine with the same idea behind it doesn't automatically make it safe and effective. Yeah. I've talked about this a lot on past shows, but there was a village in Europe where the whole village started to get narcolepsy. And it was kind of in the news a bunch because it was almost like one of those peculiar things. Like, why is this village getting narcolepsy? Why is everyone getting narcolepsy? Well, it turns out the flu shot they were using that year damaged their damaged their nervous system and gave them narcolepsy. So you find out that one's not safe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's obvious.
Effective, but it's not safe. Just because something's injected with the idea to help fight a disease before you catch it does not mean it's safe and effective.
Right.
Vaccines that are tested, and some vaccines are safe and effective, yes. Just because it's a vaccine doesn't make it safe and effective. Right. But that's like the rallying cry. It's one of those things that's like when it comes to how this is all just like a giant religion. Yeah. It's like you're questioning this unquestionable thing.
Right. It's part of the left's religion.
Yeah, there shouldn't be unquestionable stuff.
Don't do your own research.
Yeah.
Just trust it. Just trust it stupidly. Okay, well, here's Trump and the crew walking into the UFC.
Making his way to the world-famous octagon, flanked by UFC CEO Dana White. 45.
I think there's a Speaker of the House back there. You see him too.
President-elect Donald Trump.
Elon.
Wish the people
Kid
at
Rock.
home.
Yeah, most importantly, Kid Rock.
The sound in this room is so loud in here. It is so loud. It's always loud when he comes here, but now that he's won, now that he's the president again, oh my God.
So Donald Trump.
I don't know how much of this we want to show, but
But these guys are just walking around like a gang, though. Like, it was RFK, it's Trump, it's Tulsi Gabbard, it's Speaker of the House, Mike, whatever his name is. So the Blue Anon, the crazy Blue Anon that think this is a stolen election, and these guys are all just biding their time until super prosecutor Kamala Harris throws them in jail. They keep asking, where's J.D. Vance? Where's J.D. Vance? Also, J.D. Vance is half the age of these guys with young kids at home. And how dumb would it be to have J.D. Vance and Trump and everybody all together on a plane when we already know that there's
he was doing something
Iran's
else
after them,
Yeah.
where there's missiles that they know have crossed the border to supposedly target Trump. It'd be really dumb to have them all in the same spot anyway.
But what, the left conspiracy theorists are trying to say what? J.D.
He's
Vance is in
arrested.
Gitmo?
Yeah, basically. It's crazy how similar that is to QAnon.
Yeah, it's funny.
You know, QAnon always had, like, you look, these celebrities are wearing ankle bracelets, but they're hiding it for some weird reason. And, oh, this is actually a body double. This one's actually, he's actually in Gitmo.
There was lots of that. Okay, well, since we brought up the UFC, we might as well go straight to the John Jones stuff.
Yeah.
This is just 17 seconds. Let me make sure I got it pulled up here. Yep. Watch this. You know, I gotta say that must be Herb Dean for not stopping.
First.
Yeah. Go ahead and let John get like 4 more punches off Herb.
Man, as
He
much as
never
I
stops it.
hated John Jones, he's the baddest man to ever walk the planet.
Oh,
he could in a fight, he beats anybody that's ever lived.
Dude, our webcams might have been in the way. I'm gonna play it again because that kick to the ribs.
God
And you
damn.
can hear that. Yeah. How many ribs did he snap with that kick?
There's just
What's up,
nobody
Kenobi?
that could beat that guy. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's not I'm judging him here, of course. But, you know, he got really high and ran a red light and hit a pregnant lady with his car, breaking her leg, and he fled the scene. But then he remembered his crack pipe was in his car, so he ran back for his crack pipe and then left. And he does shit like that. But goddamn, is he good?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best fighters of all time for sure. Okay, let's play it again.
Damn it.
Okay, now we gotta play the. We'll keep it going here. Here we go.
Yeah.
How good is Johnny Bones? How good?
Wow. He did the Trump dance. He did the Trump dance.
That's legendary.
Spinning back kick to the body. Spinning back kick. Followed by the Trump dance.
And then he went like, goddamn. Then he went and gave the belt to him and everything.
Yeah, I know. I've got that. I think, but yeah, he gives Trump the belt. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool.
He had a pretty good speech there too. This Christian speech.
I liked it.
Yeah, it made me
that's
think
the thing,
higher
you know.
of him.
Yeah, it made me think higher of him too. And
Uh
like you brought up some of the sins of his past.
huh.
I think he's probably a flawed individual, like
And
all
you know
of
what?
us.
You know what you kind of see in the left too, because their religion, you have to have total obedience to it. Is that they try to use that again? And I'm not a Christian. So I'm not. They unfairly attack Christians, being like, "Oh yeah, he's such a big Christian. Well, he cheated on his wife. Why are Christians voting for him?" It's kind of like, well, that's the whole point of Christianity is that we, I guess, in humanity, are all flawed, And despite that, we're all good enough for God's grace and stuff.
Exactly.
So it's such a stupid argument.
Yeah, I know.
But you hear it over and over.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah.
I guess I closed the clip where he gives Trump the belt.
But you know that Trump dance is getting big. You know that's taking off in football and stuff. So there's rumors, who knows if it's true, that NFL's trying to look at banning it just because it's so common right now.
Yeah, everybody's doing the Trump dance, dude.
But you know that this shit matters when it comes to just pop culture and stuff. It's kind of making. We talked about how when Trump got shot and he stood up and the flag's in the background, he's yelling "fight," and then Elon comes out and endorses them afterwards, and then the CEO of GameStop, Cohen, comes out and endorses them because Trump did, and we kind of talked about how that starts spreading.
Yeah,
I think we've hit critical mass with this now. Is that now it's really taking off, and there's no stopping it. They're trying to.
Yeah,
They were able to hide this shit and make it seem like Trump's bad, Republicans bad. Everybody knows that men that put on dress are women's. Everybody knows that. Yeah. Everybody knows that you should wear a mask and stay home. There's no other side of the argument.
There's no dissent.
It's really extreme. Yeah, they would try to hide dissent, and they could get away with it when they had big tech controlling everything, and obviously media just bending in pretzels to push this out. They're still pushing it out, but nobody gives a shit anymore.
Right, the cat's out of the bag
about
here.
It. That's why it's so important to the election. We would have seen podcasts starting to get regulated and stuff too. And look at the UK. UK podcasts would be you thrown in jail.
The UK is the UK is a dystopian nightmare right now, dude.
Yeah,
I keep seeing terrible shit.
So I think it's so big that we see these big athletes, and you know, in general, you expect, John Jones is a famous, really rich black guy. You'd almost expect him to be more for Kamala. Same thing with a lot of the football players. They were kneeling during the national anthem. Why are they all doing the Trump dance now?
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag.
It really is.
And you're right about the NFL too. Like that one player wore the MAGA hat and he got fined. Remember
Bosa,
that? Yeah, Bosa. And then since then, it's been like 2 weeks since then, and now everyone in the NFL is doing the Trump dance. Yeah. I think it's great. Here, I found that belt thing.
Tonight, it is all about John Jones sharing the belt there with the president-elect Donald Trump.
He's happy.
Americans.
Yeah, he really. I think Trump really liked that.
Yeah,
he liked getting that.
You know, he's been shit on and been told that he's evil and his family's evil, and that everyone hates him. And now it's getting out that it's not true.
Yeah, it's nice, but yeah, legendary.
Yep.
Very cool of John Jones. I liked. I mean,
I thought he gave a good speech. That made Christians look good and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we could play it. It's just a minute. Might as well. Now we've talked about it a bunch. Here it is.
At the moment, while everybody's cheering and so happy, I want to acknowledge Jesus Christ.
Legend.
I tell you what, man. I cannot take credit for a gift like this, man. I really owe it all to him. And I know that there's millions of people around the world watching right now. And I just want to let you guys know that Jesus loves you so much. That's all I'll say about that. And as far as my future in the octagon, I decided that maybe I will not retire. And that I have some conversations to have with Dave.
I mean, how cool is that? He also I mean, he was already out of retirement, I guess, when he did the fight here, but now he's just decided not to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of John Jones after this, He seems genuine, I guess.
I think the media also knows that when Trump won, and they're seeing this take off, I think they know how irrelevant they are. And so they're backed into a corner knowing they're in trouble. And they know it, but they're also not taking any responsibility of it. They're kind of like, well, these podcasts, they don't put the amount of work in, and it's more feelings over facts, where we have the facts, but it's taking off. How do we compete with that? How do we compete? Why are they holding us to a higher standard? When it's the obvious. It's the opposite, is that obviously they've been wrong over and over and over, and their hubris, they can't admit it. Yeah, they've been lying to us, and they still can't admit it. They still won't admit they were completely wrong about COVID.
Right. Thank God. And here's a text from Elon that says legacy media is dying fast.
Yes.
And then it shows, I mean, look at these numbers, dude. This is so bad. Their primetime audience can't even get 75,000 people watching. The weekend shows didn't even get 30K for MSNBC. Like, this shows CNN, MSNBC, 66,000, 76,000. This is pathetic, dude.
CNN's doing a bunch of layoffs, and Wallace was the first one to go. He got fired.
Good. See
ya. Wallace, yep. Others be way more. The Morning Joe people, Mika and Joe Scarborough, whatever, they're the ones that they couldn't even let them go on air the day after Trump got shot because they knew he'd say something stupid. But did you see they went to Mar-a-Lago to talk to Trump?
Yeah, I did.
And I think they see the writing on the wall. They're hoping to kind of make some change. But it's also kind of funny because the media, led by the Democrats, told us that this is our last election. Democracy's dead. If Donald Trump wins, we're never having elections again. They're just more of their credibility gone.
Yeah, no kidding.
In 2 years from now, when we have midterms, 4 years out when we have elections, are they going to have any self-inspection there and say, oh, sorry, we told you guys this guy was Hitler and then we're never having elections again? But here we are, so vote for us.
Yeah.
This time we're super serious, and J.D. Vance really wants to take away democracy.
Right. That's what they'll do. They'll
so
just
wrong,
double down on it.
Admit it. Yeah. And at the same time, if Trump's really Hitler, and they're all just like, well, good game, everybody. We're going to do a peaceful transfer of power now. Here's Hitler. They'd be fighting a lot more, too, if they really believe that. But they just know that the media will do what they say, and that the Democrat voters are all a bunch of suckers. You guys are suckers that will believe in anything.
Absolutely.
You guys hated Kamala Harris 4 months ago, but 3 months ago, you guys loved her and thought she was the best candidate since Obama. You guys are a bunch of suckers.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
That's how little the head of the Democrats and the media thinks of you. They know you guys will go along with it.
Rightfully
you're not
so.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
They know you're not dangerous for that, and you're just weaklings, and they love it. That's why they hate masculinity, and that's why they love you.
Yep. Yeah. I think you nailed that, dude.
Yeah.
But I do think lots of people, even on the Democrats, are leaving the mainstream media. Like right now, they're crumbling even faster.
Yeah, they think the media, how we look at them going, look at these guys, they've lied. They're carrying this water for Kamala. They're going, these guys, it's their fault. They're sane washing Trump is what they call it. Because they're not going crazy enough showing how crazy Trump is. They're calling it sane washing him. So they're pissed.
Yikes.
They are pissed. Number one enemy today is Joe Scarborough. They are pissed. I sent you a video of Scarborough. You got to pull it up. It's there before Trump and after. It might be the right one next to this one.
Okay, let me
Do you want to play this?
In the middle of a vote.
God, I'm not getting too far out of it. Go to the right. Go to the right again. Oh, where is it? Keep going.
Oh, here.
Yeah, look at this one.
Okay, let me pull it up. Okay, so this is a before and after Joe Scarborough and whoever this chick is.
Mika, whatever her name is.
This is not a reach.
Hang on, here we go.
And then he says that the news network that is most critical of him should be taken off the air. This is not a reach. I could go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call.
Lucky for Trump.
Yeah, really.
Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as
really
we
quick. Political warfare, they mean the media versus Trump.
No kidding. No kidding.
They know they lost. They have no sway, and it's getting worse every single day.
Yeah, let me read this from Adam and Stove. He says, on direct orders from Bill Gates, no doubt, Microsoft, NBC, time to start capitulating. Like, that's what this looks like to me. They're going back on the 4 years of calling him Hitler, and they're trying to join the team a little bit because no one's gonna watch them at all unless they talk to Trump.
The View came out and said they're trying to put some conservative voices on to bounce it out.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about the Washington Post. We read what's his name's letter before that. Things are changing, and they're changing very fast. And you know what? If I was on the woke side, I would be really scared.
Yeah, they should be. But
your shit is done being force fed to everybody else. So just leave the kids alone,
dude.
Let the females have their sports. Let the females have their bathroom spaces. Just get that shit out of here.
No shit. But if Kamala would have won, these two dorks, they would have went after Trump. They would have been bloodthirsty. They would have wanted him in jail.
So close. Can you believe 43% of Americans voted for Hitler? They would have done it now. They all would have. That's why this is so important.
So they're graceful losers, a little bit. But if they would have been the winners, they would have been evil about it, man. Mm-hmm. And they would have had no mercy. But now that they're the losers, they want mercy and they want, I just think these people are despicable, dude.
Play the next one I sent you. If we could play that one out, it's just more groveling or whatever. But
yeah, let's go on. I think we got this.
Go to the right there. I think I got.
But one more thing about it. They kind of act like they're doing him a favor by going and talking to him.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah. Anyway.
They've been talking to him in 7 years. I'm hoping this is the one. Yeah, here's the View. People are pissed. People are. So many people canceled like their Washington Post subscriptions when they sat out and didn't endorse Kamala. And I think we even talked about how like leftist podcasts are losing subscribers and stuff. Okay. And now we have the View. There's people that are digging their heels in, so to speak. And here's one example.
Okay, but I think right after this, it's already been 40 minutes, dude. We should get into the aliens right after this clip.
Okay,
you think so? Okay.
God, we have a lot to cover again, but yeah.
Look, the bottom line is that America needs a free press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever.
Yeah,
then they just have those fucking retarded seals clapping.
She's right about that, though, and you'll find them on X. Yeah, it's just citizen journalists.
And I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists. But we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news. He is the guy who ushered in alternative facts. He is the guy.
Media start reporting fake news. Like, that's a crazy statement there too.
Well, he was right about it.
That's what I mean. They're the ones that are reporting the fake news.
Right. But he was calling them out. That's the thing. Before that, the media was sort of
You're right.
believed.
He went to war with the media and he won.
Yeah. And he was right that they were liars.
The first term, he gave him that sugar high, that opium rush, and they got higher ratings for a little bit. And then it went crashing down. And I'm sure some of them, they're in the news meetings probably crying, and there's someone going, well, look at it this way, guys. Our ratings are going to start going up because Trump's going to be crazy. And they're still just plummeting. So how funny is that?
Thank goodness. Dude, I do. I think it's more over for the media than ever. And and it's the best thing for the country.
Before we move on, go play the video I put 2 to the left on this one. It kind of summarizes it all pretty good, too.
We've seen enough of this chick, right?
Yeah, she's just going to blabber on about it.
It is kind of funny because she's saying, don't go talk to Trump.
Yeah, she's saying how terrible it is and how terrible he is.
Okay, you want me to go
2 to the left. Left. There it is. Play this one. So this is a new FCC chair. And it's kind of funny. They're talking. These are 2 journalists talking about the FCC chair. And look what they're trying to demonize when they're talking about him here. I think this is my pick that I like the best so far is the FCC chair.
You said 2 journalists. What, are they behind these guys? No.
Normally, the FCC is all about deploying broadband across the country, making sure everyone has wireless access.
Pause real quick.
He didn't
How fucking terrible are they at that?
No shit.
And that is not the role of government. The role of government isn't to make sure that we have broadband internet in these places. That's the role of the private sector. And that's why the private sector does it so much better when you stay the fuck away from it.
What? Not to mention, they got like $100 billion and connected 2 houses. I mean, it's legitimately that bad.
Dude, I really think that this is why the left hates Elon so much. Is him existing shows how inefficient and how terrible the government is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he could do that with a fraction of the price with Starlink, but they said no because of obvious political reasons. It's the same thing with how they had all those billions of dollars to build the electric car chargers, and they got like 8 of them, and Elon does it and turns a profit on them. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Also, why is Mr. Potato Head in his grandma's house? Like, change your wallpaper, Mr. Potato Head.
Because he's penny pinching, because I'm guessing he's been refired. He just got hired like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And like CNN's looking like they're laying off a lot of people.
Dude,
MSNBC,
all these people are going to be fired.
MSNBC is for sale, and nobody wants it. Like, what happens then?
Yeah, hopefully it disappears.
Process. That's been the focus of both Republican and Democratic chairs of the FCC for the 20 years that I've been reporting on this industry. But Brendan Carr is signaling this will not be business as usual. He is not talking about broadband in his tweets about his appointment. Instead, as you said, Jim, he is talking about the censorship cartel. He is pointing at big tech companies that are right now not under the regulatory purview of his agency. And he is saying that companies like Meta and Google need to be reined in. That is his promise. And he wrote the FCC chapter in the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 blueprint, where he said, we've got to rein in big tech. Right?
Stelter, I already like the guy. You don't have to sell me on it.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you rein him in. You get the government completely out of it. CIA is the ones controlling these and telling them what to do. You find out everyone in the CIA that did that, not only you fire them, you punish them after that so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, the government kept requesting Facebook to censor people on COVID, you know. Do we want to play the rest of it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right now, he doesn't really have the tools to do so at the FCC, but Congress could change that in the future. And in the meantime, Carr is using his bully pulpit to challenge companies like Meta. One company he's not challenging, though, is Elon Musk's X. Carr is a very big...
They aren't doing censorship.
The fucking... What's his name goes, right. Like, why is he not doing that? It's because they already have no censorship.
Yeah,
You fucking sack of potatoes.
Ally of Musk, and now Carr could be in a position to steer billions of dollars in government subsidies to Starlink in the future.
These dorks are so jealous, dude.
Yeah, they really are. And it's funny, they act like Trump is Trump loyalist and he's putting in his seats. Every other president ever has done the same thing. I mean, did they go and attack Obama's? Did he pick Republicans for these positions? Of course not. That'd actually be a bad thing to do because the voters voted you to have guys that you like running this.
Yeah, good point. But they're going to complain about it anyway, even though it's obviously how it should be. Well, dude, let's get to the aliens, I think.
All right.
Let's jump over to aliens and...
So, it feels like it feels a little bit like Groundhog Day here, doesn't it? Like let's bring it back to like the 90s. You know, you had the Roswell incident, Area 51, all of that. And everyone, I think, kind of knew government was not telling us everything they know, that they had top secret stuff.
Yeah.
And they acted like it was like, well, you know, if we told you guys, or if aliens were real out there, it would ruin the world. There would be mass chaos. Religion would be an upheaval, yada, yada. And here's the government basically saying, these are whistleblowers, but the government basically saying, yes, there's aliens here. They live in our oceans. We have bodies. We've communicated with them, and they've been here before us. It's essentially what they said. Yep. And nobody really cares.
And
I can't decide what I think of that.
Also, a couple of years ago, they said, "Oh, we have alien spacecraft that we've got." Remember that? That was in like 2022.
And then they reiterate it here too.
And
they supposedly have like pictures of actual dead aliens and stuff that are high resolution. They just haven't released yet, so to speak.
But the point you're making of like everyone is just like, okay, yeah, good. Tell us more, please. Nobody's in the streets like lighting themselves on fire, burning shit down. Just tell us.
I would say that if you had polled people 3 years ago, how many people believed in aliens, and polled them today, it wouldn't even be that much different. And we basically have the government tell us this.
Yeah.
And I think they've really said that they're in the ocean. They have technology we don't have. Yeah. And the crazy one is they said they've been here before us, essentially.
Let me just show a couple of these articles. U.S. urged to reveal UFO evidence after claim that it has intact alien vehicles. This is from 2023, June 2023. And then
that's
down
kind of
here
when
it
this
says,
started. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here, we are not talking about prosaic origins or identities. The material includes intact and partially intact vehicles of exotic origin, meaning non-human intelligence. And then it says whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin. And that kind of means, you know, either outer space or maybe in the oceans. And that's from a year ago. There's another one.
You know, it would almost make sense that if there is, I think just with the span of how big the universe is, I think it's very obvious that there's other intelligent life out there. We basically know of one planet, and there's intelligent life on it. So you expand that out, there's got to be way more. But the way that, as we kind of understand of how life started, it has to start, as far as we know, it basically has to start in a body of water or liquid, essentially. It would make a lot of sense that if there was another alien race that's here, there'd be a good chance that they would be water living.
It makes sense to me that there might be aliens in the depths of the ocean that maybe they're older than us and have been here for thousands, millions of years before us or something. And who knows? But it definitely seems like a plausible thing that, there's like a different species under the ocean. And
here's a weird thing about those. So we know the speed limit of the universe is the speed of light. Nothing can go faster. And you could say, well, maybe we don't know it yet. We haven't discovered it yet. Obviously, wormholes, but
wormholes.
The speed of light seems really fast, but it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's terribly, terribly slow. It goes around the world 7 times.
Because their space is so huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
7 times in 1 second for Earth. To get to the moon is like 3 seconds. To get to the sun, we're all up to 8 minutes. Jupiter is like 33 minutes. Nearest star is like 1 point whatever years. So that means that if we would send a radio message to the nearest star and they were able to receive it and send it back, it's already 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You go to the end of our galaxy, there's infinite galaxies. You go to the end of our galaxy, it is 200,000 light years across.
Right.
So even if it's in our galaxy, how long have humans had radio waves that we've sent out? How long has humans had? How long has humans been here? Let's be generous and say a couple 100,000 years. If it's the first time humanity existed and they sent out a radio wave, it's still not the end of our own galaxy.
Yeah, just our galaxy.
You get to the closest galaxy, we're talking millions of years. where, so, I mean, we were looking at Andromeda Galaxy, which is the closest one. That's not what it looks like today. That's what it looks like 2 million years ago. So it's vastly different right now. So it's kind of like, how would they have found us in a needle in a haystack? Unless they started life here, I guess. Unless they made a
stuff like that
and started it.
Or if they just have some kind of way of seeing everywhere, who knows what kind of technology some super intelligent species might have that's been around for billions of years or something.
What I'm trying to make is I absolutely 100% believe that there's intelligent life somewhere. But I find it very, very hard that they have been here, I guess, just because of the whole needle in a haystack.
Yeah, me too, except when I start looking at the pyramids.
I know.
You look at the Sumerians who said
paintings and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. I start to go like, maybe they were here.
And I want to talk. I've been working on a segment once the political stuff calms down about the Dogon tribe, because the Dogon tribe has said forever they were put here by, I think it was a North Star, if I remember, a group of people that lived around the North Star, essentially. I'll just do it later, but they were very specific on what these people did. They were very specific on their, and this is ancient word of mouth civilization type of thing. And they were very specific on like its solar system and everything.
Yeah.
And they knew back then, before telescopes were even invented, that there was a binary star system. And
stuff like that. I just start to immediately believe
made contact with them, and he's telling this, and he says, "Holy shit! I think we know now that is a binary star system." So he goes, and turns out it is.
Yeah.
And there's a big skeptic saying, "Well, this must not have been the first time they've come into contact. It must have happened way back when, and they must have known that from basically a different white person hundreds of years ago, because they know they've been saying this for hundreds of years." And they're saying, no, these guys have been uncontacted. But also, they say that there's a trinary star. There's another star there. And this big skeptic said, well, if they ever find out there's 3 stars, for sure these guys know something. Now, science is starting to think there's 3 stars there.
Cool.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. Well, that makes me think of the Sumerians, who they said they got visited by aliens, and they said it was from the star Sirius. And then they had some like sort of outer space knowledge that they shouldn't have had.
Yeah, I think you might be thinking of the Dogon tribe, actually.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
And but stuff like that, dude, it just starts to convince me. Anytime if I start watching Ancient Aliens for 2 days, I start to go like, oh, for sure.
But so there's another whistleblower that came out. One of the guys too is a reporter that helped break the Twitter files, Michael Schellenberger. He's one of the 4 here talking. And everything, so it's kind of interesting.
All right, well, let's talk about what this is. This is like a congressional hearing that happened on Thursday or
a week
something.
ago. Yeah.
And it's about UFO disclosure, and lots of people are saying, "Oh, of course they didn't tell us shit," and I think they're right to say that, because they kept saying like, "Oh, I can't disclose that in open doors."
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, like, well, if you have bodies or pictures of bodies, just show us where you shut up. But what these guys are kind of saying in their defense are saying, well, we're whistleblowers. This is classified, so we can only tell you. We don't have the power to do that. Right. But also, a lot of this is secondhand knowledge. Like, well, I haven't seen it, but one of my good friends have seen it. That's what a lot of this is too, unfortunately.
That's why you got to take it with a big grain of salt. But some of these questions are pretty direct. And they say, like, yep, we have spacecraft.
Yes.
So it's like, all right, let's play it. This one's 40 seconds.
Any part of the federal government is knowingly concealing evidence about UAPs from the public. Yes, sir.
That's a 100%. Doctor that works for NASA, I believe.
Okay, well, I've got a theory. Hang on, let me see this. You taking a good look at this guy, Garrett?
He's one of the whites? One of the white aliens?
Yeah. This guy might be an alien. Anyway, I just think he looks like an alien in a human suit. Nothing against the guy. Probably a good guy.
Yes. Thank you. I also want to just go down.
I was kind of talking, but they all said yes to the government is hiding evidence of UAPs. Which, by the way, I wish they didn't change UFOs to UAPs. Just, come on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 100%. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I also want to just go down the line. I know many of you have already said this, but just for the record again, just briefly, what do you believe UAPs could be or are?
Strong evidence that they are non-human, higher intelligence.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is actually my favorite part of all of this hearing, is that dude saying that. Non-human, higher intelligence. It's like, holy shit. I mean, if he's right, and it's apparently he knows something, is some kind of government official. Boy, I wish they would just tell us what the hell's going on.
I know.
Just tell us. Come on. Nobody's going to freak out.
Obviously, because nobody even cares.
Exactly. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
I echo my colleague's comments, sir.
This guy agrees. Yeah, okay.
Genuinely do not know.
That's Schellenberg right there.
Don't know, but we must find out.
So that guy there.
Dude, that's interesting.
That guy, his name's Alonzo, I believe. So here's a knock on him. He got this picture that he said, hey, I was able to obtain this picture, and it's very, very clear. And it is basically an alien city in the sky. And I should have looked this up a little bit more. I think he even did like a seminar where you had to pay to go to it, where he's going to do the reveal. And I sent you the reveal. This was his big reveal.
Okay. Oh, I see. Hang on, let me find it. Let's see here.
There it is.
Okay.
All right, can everyone see it?
This.
Does that look like alien city?
No.
In the sky? What's that look like to you?
I don't know.
You know what it is? It's a reflection of a chandelier. So many of these, like, you look at, like,
I mean,
but look, I'm in the water down there. I'm on a plane. I'm looking at the water, and there's these things keeping up with us, and they're moving so fast. In their phone, it's got like a light on it, or their camera's a light on it, and it's just getting that light that's being reflected off the camera.
Okay.
So this guy's taking a picture of the city with a chandelier in the background, and it fooled Mr. Alonzo, and he said it was from the Pentagon and stuff. He said it's the clearest UFO picture he's ever seen, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big problems with that. Like, wouldn't all of these people in this city be looking at this, taking video of it and shit, you know?
And you know what? We read the one where the Pentagon said, all right, we're going to release a video. Our Pentagon experts, we talked about this on the last show, last time. Pentagon experts did everything they can to analyze this, and it keeps coming up. They can't be recreated. And a ton of people go, no. This is the phenomenon that happens with cameras. If you take tape and make a square on it, because of the way the light comes into the lens, it makes these artifacts.
Yeah, we did a UFO show.
All the cameraman knew what was happening.
Right.
And the government said, this is completely unexplainable. Here you guys go.
Well, dude, that's when we did a UFO show like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about. There's a video that the Pentagon said, oh, we don't know what this could be. This looks like a confirmed UFO. And the Pentagon said that. And then everyone who was any kind of camera expert at all just immediately said, oh, no, that's just this kind of artifact. Yeah. It's very
it's a triangular lens.
Yeah, like everyone knew immediately. And the Pentagon was saying it was a fucking UFO. Which actually brings me to my next point, which we should always bring up whenever we talk about UFOs, which is the fake alien invasion that the government might try to do to us at some point. We always got to keep that in the back of our mind.
And I do like, there is a part of me that's like kind of proud of the people to be like, okay, whatever. Because it kind of makes me think that not everyone really believes the government. The government comes out and says, hey, there's aliens. And everyone's like, oh, you guys lie to us all the time.
No shit. I mean,
show us then.
Dude, I'm ready to believe in aliens, but I'm so skeptical of the government that I will be very skeptical if it ever starts happening.
So much. Yeah. You know, we were kind of born too late to really explore the Earth that's unexplored. You know, it's all explored now for the most part.
Yeah.
And we're born way too early to have any sort of like space exploration, meaningful space exploration.
Right.
But man, if they ever did come into contact with an actual alien civilization, that would be one of the happiest days of my entire life.
I think it would be so cool. It
would. We just learn about their
biology.
Yeah. I'd love to know their biology, their their sociology, their beliefs, all of that. How great would that be?
Everything would be epic. It would be so crazy.
I think it'd be one of the coolest things ever.
And it looks like there might be some kind of chance of that. Yeah. And they might be in the ocean and shit.
You know, I've sent you a video of a physicist talking about space travel if you go close to the speed of light. If you have that one, play it quick. Just because this guy kind of explains, especially if they came here and they stayed here, this kind of explains how that could happen. So if they were here before us or even a long time ago, and this would explain why they're not leaving and not making more contact. Play this a bit.
Okay.
If you travel close to the speed of light, then distances shrink from your perspective. And the one number I always have in my mind is at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, the protons go around a ring, which is 27 kilometers in circumference, and they go around at 99.999999% the speed of light. At that speed, distances shrink by a factor of 7,000. And so that ring is something like 4 meters in diameter to the protons. So according to laws of physics, if you can build a spacecraft that goes very close to the speed of light, you could traverse to the Andromeda Galaxy, and therefore the time it takes to get there, in principle, in a minute. However, the downside is if you came back to the Earth at that speed to tell everybody what you'd found, at least 4 million years would have passed on the Earth. We could, in principle, explore the galaxy and beyond, but getting to chat to everybody about what you found is forbidden.
Dude, that is strange to wrap my head around that.
I know, it says forbidden there, and it makes me think that we are in a simulation. There is a creator. We're not supposed to be able to find these other civilizations and communicate with them.
Yeah.
At least Earth.
Or it's like, you can, but 4 million years will have passed. So you can come back. But and for you, only 1 minute will have passed, but for us 5 million years or whatever.
And
How
for
strange,
the
dude.
and for the civilization they're trying to find. Good luck finding a civilization that's there 2 million years from now.
Yeah, no kidding. It'll be completely different or nothing.
Or nothing, yeah.
But man, obviously it's just so weird. What a weird thing that space shrinks. So the proton is actually going at a smaller distance.
See, and
it's not even traveling the amount of distance. That is
everyone learns the E equals MC squared, but nobody really learns like how huge that really is. That explains like how if you're moving really, really fast and I'm not, time's going way slower for you and I'm aging way more. If you're going the speed of light and come back, I'm aged, you're not. And basically the whole thing is the speed of light. And as light goes, no matter how fast you're going, light is still going the speed of light away from you, essentially. So the only way they could explain that is when you're going really fast and that speed of light is going, that light is going still the speed of light from you, so time must be going faster for you, is essentially what it's saying. And it's all just because of this formula, and it makes me think, oh, we're in a simulation. Because of this one formula that's in the laws, it changes how time flows for Nate if he's going faster. Light goes faster, essentially. It's the same speed because time sped up, but essentially the light that you're looking at is going faster than it really can be. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I always need a diagram drawn for me. Whenever this kind of stuff starts, I'm like, it's tough for my brain.
And then you get the whole thing about how bigger planets with more mass warp space and time flows differently there.
Yeah.
It's like this is set up so we can't talk to each other. And it's just following these formulas that somebody put in place is what it feels like to me.
Well, should we play some more of these?
Yeah.
Let's just see
here's
what
the bad thing about this is that it was relatively boring. And so I looked at so many clips trying to find like some more exciting ones to bring to the show. And I hate to say it, there's kind of not much. You either believe these guys or you don't. And it's kind of the same shit we were told a year ago.
Right.
And before that. So it's kind of like...
I had the same thing. Like I wanted to have all these clips, and then basically that clip we just played was the best one.
And they get, one will say, yes, we communicate with them. Others say, yes, other countries are aware of this, and they've communicated with them, and yada, yada.
But I mean, the long story short is like they say we have non-human craft. They say we have non-human biologics.
Bodies.
Yeah, bodies.
And they say we are in communication with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that makes
okay,
sense.
but I guess I should play this one. I don't know which one this is.
Do you believe, just for the record, that the federal government, any part of the federal government, is knowingly concealing evidence about UAPs from the public?
Yes, sir. We played this one, right? Yeah, we played this one.
100%. Yes.
Okay, that was just with a camera on that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, another thing about that, like, my initial thought is, like, the government should not be able to lie to us about this.
No, we talked about this before. They work for us.
But then I think to myself, I wonder if the aliens are making them. And it's kind of like, well,
that's one of the conspiracy
maybe
theories.
they actually don't.
We have a treaty with them.
Yeah.
Because they could just annihilate us, and they're allowed to run experiments on a certain amount of people every year.
Stuff like
and
that.
the government can't tell them, but they'll trade us information and technology, basically.
Right.
And, like, they can't harm humans. Or if they do, they have to, like, basically give them amnesia on it. Like, there's a giant conspiracy theory on that.
You know,
and
this
they
kind of stuff.
claim,
This kind of stuff would make sense to me.
Yeah, I know.
And we're just basically animals to them, so they can just tell us whatever the fuck.
And to our government. Our government thinks
Yeah.
that little of us too, of course.
Right. But also, it could be legitimately like the government is doing the right thing by not telling us.
Because they have no choice, basically.
Yeah. And maybe the aliens go, hey, look, you know, the government told them 2,000 years ago, that's why we flooded the earth and killed you all.
So
or
one
something.
season of AHS.
That's one season. What's AHS?
American Horror Story.
Oh, okay. Miggles. All right, let's see. We'll just play this one.
Said something interesting. You said they don't seem to be hiding. They don't seem to be hiding. The UAP sightings are becoming increasingly
I spotted another alien, Garrett.
brash, if you will.
Certainly, there seems to be
never
some indication that they're being.
We never talked about the Miami incident on the show.
Oh, I know. We got to.
Do we go into that, or do we wait?
Do we have the clip of the light being running?
We should maybe save that one for different shows.
You know what? Maybe
that
next
one's crazy.
week. Yeah. But the Miami Mall thing is super interesting. I think we should try to remember to do that next week.
Yeah, we can always tease it at the end of this show. We show they called every cop in Miami to this mall, and the official story was there's a couple kids fighting. It's the official story,
right? And it was the biggest police response ever.
Yeah.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah, right around the same time.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit with aliens.
The Miami Mall one's weird.
Yeah, we'll show that next show. We're gonna do another alien.
We want to do it justice. You know, we don't want to just quick try to Google. We want to do that one justice.
Yeah, because it is cool. Okay, let's let this clip play.
Meaning that they're in some cases literally splitting aircraft formations right down the middle. So that's an air safety issue. The question is it the frequency increasing? And the response is it depends. Yes, it's possible that there is an increase in frequency, but it's also possible that there's heightened awareness now, and there's also more pervasiveness of technology out there that's collecting this information and that can record this information. So we're not quite sure yet if it's actually an increase in numbers of these events, or is it that we have better equipment now to record these things, and we have a better ability, if you will, to analyze these things.
But we're still not seeing much. You know, nothing's definitive.
Everything seems to be radar and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of like, well, what the hell could this be on radar? And that seems to be a big part of it all.
You know, I think we should wrap up pretty quick.
Oh. We have 2 funnier videos I can show you. I sent you another Blue Anon one, and this you got to play this one out.
Okay, but before we do that, I want to play this MH370 clip, and as I was looking into this for the show, there are 2 camps basically that say this is a fake video, and one says this is real. And Joe Rogan, a guy went on Joe Rogan, and they talked about it, and Rogan ended up saying he thinks it's fake. Okay, but then I watched this guy who's like an expert on this video who says it's real. So
in the UFO community, I got to give the UFO community props. They were very disappointed by that the reveal. They didn't think it was very
definitive.
So these guys are the guys that take time out of their day to believe in aliens so much and UFOs so much that they get together in groups and talk about it and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were not at all impressed by this.
Really?
Not this video. They're not at all impressed by the release of all of this stuff.
Okay.
This video has them split, it feels like to me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but just so everyone remembers, the flight MH370 was a flight out of Malaysia. It was a huge plane with like 240 people on it, and it disappeared. Okay, that was like a real thing. Everyone who was around probably remembers, what the hell happened to this plane, you know? It was missing. Oh, where'd the plane go? And then they never found it. And then these videos came out, which may or may not be real, but I think they're interesting enough anyway to show, you know?
Yeah.
And anyway, here's like an infrared version.
You might want to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Might as well play it from the beginning because it shows them kind of coming on this.
Yeah, you can see two different videos of it. Okay. And these 3 orbs start circling the plane, which you'll see here. Yeah. Here they come. Dude, this is pretty weird. If this is real, then it is evidence of a higher technology. Yeah. No doubt about that.
It's a pretty good fake.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
That's one thing I wanted to say about it. It's like a cool fake. If it's fake, they like did it in a smart way that's like a plausible way to make a wormhole, even though I know nothing, you know, but it at least looks cool, you know. I'm going to hide my webcam. I'm afraid it's going to be in the way. I'll hide them both. Okay, here we go. Watch this, dude. This is... So it goes around it. It's going to come back into view here in a second on the left. I mean, it looks so fake because what kind of phenomenon would this be where, you know, essentially a wormhole teleports it out of there?
Yeah.
And that's what looks fake about it. But some of the thing that's convincing about it is, okay, what happened to the plane? And then if it is real, like, if it is real, then it doesn't mean it's aliens, but it's some kind of higher technology. Box bar. Wasn't there a Malaysian plane shot down a few months later, supposedly by Russia, as a false flag, but no one cared in the news cycle? Yeah, actually, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Now that he brings that up, that happened. That happened too. And anyway, you guys will have to look into MH370 yourselves because there's a bunch of theories about it, you know. Basically, one of them was that it teleported that plane like across the Earth, and then the plane ended up in a military island called Diego Sanchez or something like that. Okay, well, that's the MH370. I just wanted to show that video as part of the alien segment, you know.
All right, Nate, do we show the Haka videos or do we show the Blue Anon? I got a crazy Blue Anon for you.
Which one do you want, Garrett? I'll let you call.
I don't know. You tell me. What are you in the mood for?
What is the Blue Anon one? That's because I don't know what that one is. I know
it's a quick one. It's a
Diego Garcia. Box bar,
Nate's just got UFC on his brain still.
Oh yeah, Diego Sanchez. Wow, that's funny. Okay.
You'll play the Blue Anon one. It's really quick.
Okay.
People just cannot give up the idea that Kamala won, and it's all over. Like it's funny because they're doing the stuff that the media was telling us was so evil. The Republicans were doing that. They're denying the election, and we have proof they're trying to steal the Pennsylvania election. But this one, hopefully you can find it. This one is funny because they're looking for these really funny Easter eggs in their videos.
Tufts University is
that one. We can always bring it next show. I might even you can play this one.
What is this?
Party boats.
Is this the Haka?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's in the news. You guys might have seen this one.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do the Blue Anon next time.
Okay, so yeah, this is the Haka that happened in New Zealand Parliament, right?
Yep.
Here we go.
Mr. Speaker.
A party vote has been called for.
There's a process here.
New Zealand National.
49 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party of Aotearoa New Zealand.
15 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
11 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 votes in favour.
Te Pāti Māori.
E ono ngā pōti if 6 votes opposed.
Everybody else just sitting there.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bell.
Okay.
There's another video where he shows the Speaker of the House's face, and you can tell he knows it's coming, so he's like, "Oh."
You know, I saw the haka thing for the first time like 10 years ago. You remember that? It started to become like known in the world that they do this during rugby matches.
Yeah. And then they did like the basketball Olympics.
Okay.
And they just got shat on by the U.S.
When I first saw it, I kind of liked it. I think, that's a cool thing that they do. But then it's so played out, and now it's like cringy as hell. In like the
is woke dead enough that we can all admit that it's super cringy?
I think so.
They're in Parliament doing this.
Okay, now, but the thing about this Parliament, if whatever they're protesting or doing this about, if their cause is righteous, then I like that they did the haka there.
You know what? Go into X real quick and type in haka vaccine mandates.
No, why? What is that?
Just go do it. Like,
okay.
So that bill was something about indigenous rights. I think indigenous have special rights. I think it is. I think it was something on that. They're mad that they didn't have time to debate. But go to the next one down, I think, is the big one.
Well, just to make my point, though, Garrett, if their cause is righteous, I like it. If it's not, then it's super cringy.
So New Zealand,
I think it's probably cringy.
They tried doing COVID vet mandates for everybody, every man, woman, and child in New Zealand. And the indigenous group basically killed it. They were able to stand up against it.
Legendary. Oh, man.
Parliament doing it.
Dude, I thought you were going to say the opposite.
No, you can play this one with sound, but they single-handedly killed it in New Zealand. It was basically a done deal, and they stood up to it, and they won. So vaccine mandates didn't go through in New Zealand.
All right, let's play it. Holy shit.
If you're doing the haka at like a sporting event, you better win.
Yeah, you better win. But I'll tell you what, like this one we're watching right now about they're protesting vaccine mandates by doing the haka. I would have been there doing the haka with them.
Yeah, I think the one above it is where they're doing it like to protest like a vaccinated only area and shit even.
Adam and Stove says the haka is about taking the last of the promised rights from the Maori.
Conquer culture's last breaths. Interesting.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what, I can't tell you what a big fan I am of these dudes protesting
kind of going
the
off
vaccine
what Adam
mandate.
Stove is saying there is that New Zealand, it hits the indigenous people. They have basically held off on. We kind of talk about how there's a shadow government putting these migrants in every fucking country somehow, and it seems so planned and organized. And we talked about it how there's been buses supposedly taking migrants from the U.S. now to Canada and stuff before Trump could get them and deport them, basically. And we saw where the U.S. under Kamala the UN was giving a bunch of money. No, it was I think it was EU was giving a bunch of money to help them take in a bunch of migrants to come out of our tax dollars. New Zealand has fought it off, and it sounds like it is because of the same culture.
They keep doing the haka?
Special rights. They have special rights, and they're saying no to all the migrants and stuff.
Oh, kick
so
ass!
They killed the vaccine mandate, and it sounds like they also killed the migrant crisis.
All
so
right.
I think Adam Stove is probably right.
This haka is a legendary protest move, I guess. But they fucking protested.
Go up one.
Dude, mandatory vaccines, I can't tell you how much I hate that shit.
That's so funny about the whole My Body, My Choice movement is the weird irony is almost everybody that is in the My Body, My Choice, we're all very pro-vaccine mandates.
Yeah, well, the liberals...
It's different. It's different.
The liberals managed to somehow be on the wrong side of every issue. It's like a fucking
they really are.
miracle how they can be so
especially
wrong.
Now. They're just pro. Speaking of just pro-war, did you see that Biden is now, they're trying to escalate the war in Russia?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, they're trying to give them every penny they can. Yeah. They're giving them long-range missiles. They now gave them okay to actually shoot into Russian territory.
Yep.
They're obviously trying to elevate this.
Dude, I watched the Ron Paul report where he talked about it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, earlier today. And he made a good point. He said, like, he basically made the point that Biden, or a president who has been, he's gonna be out. It's even worse that he can like expand a war before
that's why
he
they
leaves.
call it the lame duck.
Yeah.
You know, they're not even supposed to be able to have a war. They're supposed to go to
Congress,
Senate. Is it Senate or Congress?
Congress, I think, declares war.
They're the ones that have to declare war.
Yeah.
The president's not supposed to have that power. But the president just ever since Bush and stuff, he's just not giving a fuck.
Right. It's completely unconstitutional.
Yeah.
It's so fucked.
Well,
and they say, it's
just
conflicts.
missiles.
Yeah, we're not doing war. It's just conflict.
They need to change that so any military action basically falls under war.
Absolutely. But it's really scary stuff. We authorize Ukraine to use our missiles into Russia or something. I hope Trump is calling Putin like, hey, don't start a nuclear war. Because
I know.
He's fucking
You know what he should be doing? He should be calling Zelensky and saying, you better fucking not.
No shit. That's what he should. But Zelensky will be,
How
busy
much money
snorting
tonight?
cocaine. So
how much money tonight?
Yeah. Did you want me to play this? What is this?
Oh, I think that is that's for the vaccinated only people. They're doing the haka there to protest against it.
Once again, against vaccine mandates.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Fucking legends. Dude, I'd have been right in the fucking line with these guys.
You're kind of right. It kind of does change the.
It does.
Based on if you think it's a righteous.
If it's righteous, then it's great. If it's not, then it's cringy as hell. Man, all right, let's play it out. What do you say?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I've got kind of a funny prank video, which obviously pranks are usually retarded, but I think that this cracked me up when I saw it. So
you want me to ruin it for you?
Yeah.
They're just comedians, I'm pretty sure.
You know this?
I think
You've
I do,
seen
yeah.
this?
This is where he puts his pair. I don't want to ruin it for everybody else.
Okay, well,
I don't want to be that shit thing that ruins everything good on the internet. So,
well, I hope this isn't staged, but
yeah,
maybe
me too.
If it's staged and she's in on it, then it's lame. But if not, it's just a funny 1 minute prank here to play us out.
What the fuck?
What's wrong?
They got my pictures on display.
What the hell? Where did those come from?
I don't fucking know. Look at this one. Look at that. Where in the hell they get that picture at?
I know you're on the beach somewhere.
Motherfuck. I'm on the beach. I'm on the beach someplace else with these motherfuckers. This is bullshit. Look at that. I like to know where in the fuck they got it. This is fucking completely. Hell, I ain't never fuck had a picture made like that before.
You can't buy all those grannies.
I ain't buying. What the fuck?
Dang it. You know, I thought they just walked her through the store and they had
I
them
didn't
there.
shit on that video beforehand and said I'm not going to ruin it for everybody. So you're right, I was too late.
That's all right. Well, I think it was a good show.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, it was
hopefully
fun.
we're off our restrictions and shit next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And we'll do more
Wish us
aliens.
luck.
Hopefully, we'll do more alien stuff.
Let's
next
do the
week.
Miami one for
yeah,
sure.
The Miami
Yeah.
one is interesting, dude. It's
Yeah.
freaking weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All
thanks
right, guys.
everybody for
Yep,
tuning
thanks
in.
for
It was
watching.
fun. All right. Peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett